Hey.
Hey,
Hey
Louise.
everybody, how you guys doing?
Hi.
Abby, hey Nyla, hey Jen.
All right. I think this is everyone. Everyone ready to get Changemakers started?
Everyone's looking so fancy.
Yeah. Wow. You all really dressed up. I figured I didn't have to since this year we're doing it virtually.
Excuse me, did you all say virtually?
Yeah, Jen, we made the announcement a few weeks ago.
We had to move the event from in-person to virtual because we want to keep everyone safe.
So no one is coming to the event space
No.
and everyone is at home right now?
Right.
Oh no.
Did you go to the event space?
No.
It really looks like you're at the event space right now.
No, this is my living room.
Jen, that doesn't really look like your living room.
Yeah, well, I have an unconventional looking living room, Gabby.
You really have to be at home, Jen. You're supposed to be helping me with tech support tonight. You know that, right?
Right. Yeah, totally. I gotta turn my camera off just for a second. I have to do something important in my living room.
Well, okay. That was a little weird. But anyway, I'm really glad we're still doing Changemakers, even virtual. It's so great that we get to celebrate so many amazing honorees and the human services sector this year.
Yeah, although it would have been nice if someone else besides me could have taken home some of the in-person event decorations. I'm running out of room for my Just Pay swag.
The decorations look just best in your apartment, Nyla. We all ranked choice voted for this.
I guess so.
Jen, what is going on right now?
Oh, I'm just going for a little, walk pre-Changemakers just to relax. Right outside my apartment building where I am right now.
Jen, if you didn't realize, we were moving the event virtual. It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, well, that's not what happened at all.
Okay, well, since Jen is clearly busy, can somebody else help me with tech support tonight, please?
Sorry, I'm working with the speakers tonight.
I'm the MC.
And I have to sue the city.
Ooh, I know. Why don't we ask the picture of Gloria to do it?
That is a great idea, Louise.
Oh my God, picture of Gloria. You always know when to save the day.
Thank you so much for jumping back in to help with Changemakers picture of Gloria.
You're gonna replace me with picture of Gloria? She can never do what I do.
What, like basic Zoom tech support? I mean,
Wait, Jen, are you video chatting while driving right now? Isn't that kind of dangerous?
Don't change the subject.
Enough. Picture of Gloria is doing tech support tonight. That's final.
Ugh.
Look, I know switching to virtual has thrown all of us for a loop.
Some more than others.
But I just wanted to say how this change really does reflect how truly flexible everyone in the sector has been this year to keep serving communities in the face of—
I am not going to be late to the virtual event. Do not give my job to that traitor picture of Gloria. You know that she's trying to ruin my life, right?
Jen, you need to calm down.
More importantly, how are you on a plane right now? The in-person event was supposed to be in Manhattan and you live in Brooklyn.
Don't change the subject.
Okay, we really need to get started now. We have a packed night ahead.
Thank you to everyone joining us tonight to celebrate the 2021 Changemakers of New York.
we hope you grab a glass of whatever you have near and join us in toasting the honorees.
And whether we're in person or virtual,
We're all virtual.
welcome to Changemakers of New York.
Amazing, amazing.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeremy Kahumban, the chair of the board of HSC. Thank you for joining us today. It's good to be with you. I want to acknowledge the amazing members of HSC, our board, and the incredible human service workforce. You are the true heroes in New York. You have done everything to keep our city safe, to lift our spirits, and get us through this pandemic. Thank you for all that you do. Over the past year, HSC has worked with all of you to make sure that the key advocacy issues that are important to us are elevated and present every day. We advocated for the restoration of the indirect cost rate initiative. We continue to advocate for the cost of living adjustments. We are providing critical information to help us navigate the pandemic, and we're taking all the steps that we need to take together to make sure that our voices are heard. The work does not stop here. In fact, we are just beginning. We have a new mayor in the city. We have a governor and a new team in Albany. The human service sector through HSC and its task force has produced recommendations that are important to this sector, and we will continue to advocate for the implementation of those recommendations. We are part of the Just Pay campaign, something that's near and dear to our hearts, and we will continue to work with the various transition teams to make sure that the advocacy issues that are important to us are also important to our electeds. I am proud of the work we do together. A big thank you to our board of directors and to our amazing staff. You make HSC work. On behalf of the board, I also want to congratulate our amazing honorees, Louisa Chafee of UJA Federation of New York, and our friend and colleague, James Rubin. Louisa, James, thank you for all that you do. Your leadership and your support inspires us every day. Now, please sit back and relax, and let me introduce you to my fellow board member and amazing, amazing leader, Karen Kastner. Karen is the co-host and the co-leader of this effort. Karen, thank you for all that you do. Take it over from here.
Thank you, Jeremy. I am so excited to introduce our first honoree this evening, Louisa Chafee, Senior Vice President for Public Policy and External Relations at UJA Federation of New York. Each year, HSC's Changemakers of New York seeks to honor those who have truly made a difference for our city's human service sector. Undoubtedly, I don't need to tell you about the incredible work Louisa has done in this sector throughout her entire career. She has a long history of working with the human service sector and HSC, from her time in city and state government to her position now at UJA Federation, whether helping with the creation of the HHS Accelerator, advocating for greater investments from our government partners, or fighting for the restoration of indirect cost rate initiative funding for the human service agencies. The first time I met Louisa was actually on behalf of HSC when we went over to the governor's office to advocate for the $50 million infrastructure monies. I saw firsthand how warm, embracing, but yet understanding Louisa was, and she took action. She knew what was needed, and she was able to advocate and to ensure that the sector was protected. Then I had the opportunity, obviously, for the past few years and presently, to work side by side with Louisa at UJA on government relations advocacy, whether in the city, the state, or in Washington. She is so effective, and I just love working with her and learning from her. That work has only been magnified throughout the pandemic. Over the last 2 years, Louisa has led the way to ensure that the human services agencies throughout New York could navigate through this pandemic, whether working with the government to include nonprofit language of the COVID-19 relief package, guiding our state and local governments on how to better streamline the dissemination of vaccines to seniors and Holocaust survivors in the early days, helping organizations navigate the PPP loan process, or serving on HSC's Human Services Recovery Task Force. On all of these items, I worked and saw firsthand how Louisa operates and how effective she is and how lucky we are to work with her. I could not be more excited to honor Louisa tonight. She is truly a change maker for all of us, and we look forward to our continued work together. Thank you for everything you do, Louisa. I consider you a very good friend as well as a colleague, and congratulations on this very well-deserved honor.
Thank you, Karen Kasner. I really appreciate that introduction. My name is Louisa Chafee, and I'm the Senior Vice President for Public Policy and External Relations at UJA Federation of New York, my professional home for the past 5 years. I'm deeply honored to be named a Human Services Council Changemaker of 2021. Let me thank the Human Services Council Board, the Human Services Council Changemaker event co-chairs, Karen Kasner and Margaret Crotty, my fellow Changemaker awardee, Jamie Rubin, the Human Services Council Executive Director, Michelle Jackson, and the UJA team. My professional colleagues, my team, the board, and the many UJA lay leaders. And most importantly, perhaps, Eric Goldstein, the UJA CEO. Now let's go back to the early 1990s. New York City government was a decade and a half beyond the 70s fiscal crisis. The city was outsourcing all human service provision to nonprofits. UJA Federation of New York and the United Way of New York City recognized a market failure, and that while there was strong advocacy for specific policy areas such as children and seniors, and faith-based traditions of support, including UJA, there was not assistance in the business relationship with government funders. To solve for this market failure, UJA and United Way conceived of an advocacy entity to assist all other advocacy groups, one that should focus on business functions that cause human service nonprofits to flourish, wallow, or fail. And so the Human Services Council was created. UJA is still a strong supporter. HSC resides in UJA's space, and I, as UJA's rep, just finished my HSC board service term. Here we are in December of 2021, and the systemic business issues continue to challenge New York City's network of human service nonprofits. HSC's original architecture to bring together all of New York City's advocacy organizations has been a critical element of their successful response to the challenges of the past year. And I am really proud to have represented UJA at that table. A large portion of HSC's budget is raised at the event this evening. For years, the fundraising goal was steady. This year, the fundraisers went big with a goal to double the long-standing amount. And I am awed by your generosity. HSC has raised half again what they aspired to. That is a huge fiscal increase. You've stepped up to assist HSC, and I warmly and deeply thank you. Your gifts will help all New York City human service nonprofits. Thank you for your recognition and your appreciation. I'm honored to be given this award, and I look forward to working together to make more change.
Thank you, Louisa. It's such an honor to be able to celebrate you and Jamie Rubin as our Changemakers honorees tonight. Thanks so much to everyone for joining us tonight virtually again. And HSC is so lucky to be part of a network of incredible advocates, providers, leaders, and stakeholders. I want to start off tonight by thanking our staff, Jason Wu, our Director of Operations, who made tonight possible, Nayela Amaru, our Director of Policy and Campaigns, who's leading our Just Pay efforts, Gloria Kim, our Senior Policy Analyst, who continues to rate our problematic RFPs, MJ Okma, our recently departed senior policy analyst. We're so happy he's staying in the HSC family. Gabby Andrade, our policy and organizing strategist, who's giving our members tools to be part of our work. Jennifer Diamond, who does all of our great communications as our membership services manager, and Luis Saavedra, our office manager, who makes sure we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing, where we're supposed to be doing them. And a special thanks to our interns, Tara and Lena, who are joining us this year. Have to thank my board. Thank you to Jeremy, our board chair, and the rest of the board, who have been such important advocates for HSC and supporters of our work. They're such fantastic champions of our work while also having at least one other full-time job. Without it, all of the work and the bold choices that HSC has made would not have been possible. This is one of the first years that we had term limits for our board, so our first set of term board members left us this year. So I want to take a second to thank that class of board members: Louisa Chafee, David Garza, Mitchell Netburn, Ronald Richter, Fred Schack, and Ariel Zwang. Next, thanks to our main sponsors tonight, our Changemakers sponsor, Jamie Rubin, our advocate sponsor, UJA Federation of New York, our innovator sponsors, Alliant Insurance and Capital One. Thank you for your support of our event. And last but certainly not least, a huge thank you to our event co-chairs. Karen Kasner has been a prolific fundraiser for HSC and has really changed the way our board thinks about fundraising. And Margaret Crotty, who is also one of our departing board members this year, who has really helped HSC rethink how we fundraise and how we plan this event every year. So thank you so much to both of you for all of your work helping HSC become a better institution. I also have the great pleasure of introducing Margaret, who will be introducing our next honoree. So let me turn it over to Margaret to introduce our next honoree.
Sometimes all the stars align and you find an honoree who really deserves to be honored. Someone who has really made strong contributions to the social service sector, someone who believes in our work, supports our leaders, and advocates alongside us. Someone who's been able to leverage resources and human capital to help address the critical issues that all of us at HSC care about. So this year was a no-brainer for us to honor Jamie Rubin. He spent the last year co-chairing the Human Services Recovery Task Force, bringing his own network of important stakeholders to help all of us think through COVID recovery. Jamie's career has been at the nexus of public service and nonprofits, including service as the Director of State Operations for the State of New York and the Commissioner of the State Department of Homes and Community Renewal. He's established enormous public-private partnerships to address infrastructure projects around the world as the CEO of Meridian Capital. He's a political thought leader, and he's served on boards, and not just the glamorous fun boards. Jamie's brought all this experience to HSC, encouraging us to move toward bolder action and advocacy, and that's what we all need right now in these turbulent times. So we're delighted to honor HSC's good friend, and many of our personal good friends, Jamie Rubin.
Thank you for that kind introduction. I'm delighted to be here, actually by Zoom, I guess, but I'm delighted to be here and honored to be seen as a change maker this evening. I started working most closely with HSC last year when I agreed to co-chair the Human Services Recovery Task Force, which brought together nonprofit leaders, members of the philanthropy world, business folks, business people, and representatives of organized labor to talk about what the sector learned from the experience of living through COVID and make some key recommendations to move the sector forward through the recovery. Of course, I was very fortunate to have Fred Schack, my co-chair, agree to head the commission with me. We've gathered a great group of people. I think it was over 30 people. We had meetings every month. The work was tremendously serious. And yet, despite the difficulty that is always involved in getting a sector as diverse as this to work towards a common goal, I think the end result was very compelling, and I think it's actually going to lead to real change. The task force really shed light on the obstacles that human services organizations face every day as they work hard to ensure that New Yorkers have access to quality services in their communities. The sector does life-saving work, literally life-saving work, but it's repeatedly stymied by obstacles that are often being driven by shortcomings in the relationship between the government, which contracts with the human services sector, and the nonprofit organizations that work so hard. You all know what these problems are, but they get very little attention in the world at large, which is, I think, part of why it's taken such a long time to try to remedy them. The government pays slowly. It pays too little. Procurement processes are extraordinarily complicated and often redundant. And most of all, of course, the government just refuses to offer anything other than low wages to human services workers, even though they are overwhelmingly women and people of color. HSC has always been a strong advocate for changing these systems and attacking these problems. And I'm excited to see that new government officials are coming in January who have made strong commitments verbally to try to address these problems, from City Hall on through the City Council to the Comptroller's Office and elsewhere. And I'm excited to see how they all live up to those promises and to watch HSC and its members work closely with them. As for myself, through my work with HSC on the Commission and elsewhere, I'm more committed than ever to help the sector mobilize and more effectively demonstrate the power of the Human Services Network, the millions of workers, clients, volunteers, and board members that are essential to life in New York City. So I'm honored again to be seen as a change maker, and I look forward to my continued partnership with HSC, Michelle, and its wonderful board of directors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jamie, and thank you particularly for taking on the enormous task of co-chairing our task force. This year, we have taken a different approach to our video. In previous years, we've taken a more humorous approach, and this year we want to try something a little bit different as we use this video to launch the messaging for our Just Pay campaign. Key Ideas has been such an incredible partner to us over the years, and I really want to thank them for thinking differently and putting together what I think is a video that's really outdone their previous work. And a huge, I cannot say this enough, huge thank you and shout out to David Garza and the team at Henry Street Settlement, who really welcomed us with open arms, and this would really not have been possible without their creativity and partnership. So I present to you the state of the sector.
We out here. Yeah, we out here. It's been a bitch of a year, but still, we out here. This is my state of mind, in this state of mind, where people in need of help, but help is hard to find. My family's full of fear, but still, at my age, still making minimum wage. It is hard to walk with pride when I qualify for the same service I provide. Is he in near? I don't know, but still, we are here. Am I not essential or dependable? Does the color of my skin make me expendable? We are 800,000 strong, but still, you string us along. Not making right what's been wrong for so long. Well, how long for we're too far gone? Wait. What will you do when we're too far gone? You say we will be okay, but is it just me? This feels like a Band-Aid, not a recovery. Don't take my word for it, just ask them inside. When they're done fixing the digital divide, aren't these the problems we elected you to address? What a mess. I know you're under stress, but how long do you expect us to do more with less? This is the state of the sector. This is the state of affairs. This is the state of the sector. This is my neighborhood for anyone who cares. You will come, you will go, you will leave, but when will you listen to what we need? This is the state of the sector. This is the state of affairs. This is the state of the sector. This is your state now for anyone who cares. We provide services on behalf of the city and state, are funded at 70 cents on the dollar and paid late. But wait, do I get a loan or send another person home? Another service, another cost to make up for what we lost? And let's talk about safety. You down with PPE? Yeah, you know me. You down with PPE? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with PPE? Every last ED. If only that shit was free. I don't need a pep talk, I need you to walk my block. You care about equity, I'll save you the complexity. Just start here. It's been another hard year, praying for better days still, but still I'm here. This is the state of the sector. This
Did somebody say public affairs? Come on, New York, we can do it. Start spreading the hope. We're serving today.
Just today.
I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city with no food insecurity. What? What did I say?
Are you really interested in helping?
Yes, of course.
We need just pay.
What do you mean?
Just pay.
Just pay, just pay, just pay, just pay.
Don't tell me my funding's gonna be late.
Just pay,
Don't tell me you have to renegotiate.
just pay. Don't tell me it's always been this way.
Okay.
Just pay. Don't tell me you care about equity and pay me less. I just like you have a master's degree. I need just pay.
I need you to understand me when I say just fucking pay. This is the state of the sector. This is the state of affairs. This is the state of the sector.
These are our neighborhoods, but do you really care? You will come, you will go, you will lead. But when will you listen to what we need?
Your administration is new.
So what will you do? You say you'll pray for
You
me,
say you pray
but
for
prayers
me.
alone won't feed my family.
Won't feed my family.
It's still, we're here.
We're here.
All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed our video and I hope you're ready to join us in dancing in the streets. I know this year has been difficult, but instead of saying that these are trying times, I will say that these are the times that we're built for. We are built as a sector for service and to meet the challenges that are put in our path and the paths of the communities that we serve. We have been preparing for these times our whole lives, and we are ready and have continued to show that we are ready to meet the challenges ahead. I am ever humbled to be in service of you all, the human services workers, board members, and leaders who show up every day to be remarkable agents of change. Dorothy Day may have once said, "Our problems stem from the acceptance of this lousy, rotten system." Well, we do not accept this system, and I am honored to stand with you all as we push back. And as an advocate, I am optimistic, and I remain optimistic as we look to a new administration at both the city and state who will also stand with us to build a better New York. And if they do not stand with us, well, we will happily drag them along as we go down the path of just pay. Thank you all so much for your support, and I look forward to the coming year of fighting back. Now, if you're not done celebrating, you're welcome to stay with us. We're gonna open up some breakout rooms. You can look into the corner of your screen, you'll see breakout rooms. Come, refresh your drink, and join us for a couple of minutes of conversation.